What is up, everybody, and welcome back once again to the Don't Shoot Disc Golf podcast. This is episode number 43. I am your host, Harry Messenger, coming to you live from my studio in South Manchester. South Manchester, UK, to any international viewers here tonight. Hello to everybody in chat. Tom, Ollie, Dean, Stephen, Alex, Sander, Fran, Alex, again, Amanda. So many people here tonight. So wonderful to see so many of you, and I know that you're all here to see my wonderful guest tonight. We're going to be joined by the amazing team MVP athlete and very long time Disc Golf Pro Tour competitor, Sarah Hokom, who is with me now. Hello, Sarah. Ooh,
hello.
There we go. You've managed.
Now that I'm unmuted.
Yeah, we got it. Awesome.
Thanks for having me, Harry.
Thank you so much for coming on. As I was saying on my Facebook post, the first world champion of the podcast. So,
wow. Well, I'm honored.
Yeah. So how's it going, Sarah? It's been a crazy time, but I bet you're excited to get back on with the disc golf season proper.
Yeah, I have my season opener this weekend in Victoria, Texas.
Oh wow, cool. And what's the event called?
It's called the Victoria Open. It's an A tier. There are about a dozen or more women signed up in the FPO side. Lots of great competition. The Manahando sisters, Lisa Fakis, Stephanie Vincent. Should be a good battle.
Wow, starting off pretty serious. That's great. So yeah, Sarah, give us a 2-minute intro of who you are and what you do, in case any of my viewers don't know who you are yet. Give us an intro.
Yeah, so Sarah Hokom. I play professional disc golf, and I've been doing so since about 2008, and touring professionally since 2010, when I quit my science teaching job and decided to hit the tour full time, not really knowing what I was getting into. Wow. And I've been doing that ever since, in a lot of different ways, and it has been an exciting journey, and just I've learned a lot about just the sport myself, all sorts of life lessons along the way.
Amazing. It's such a great, must be such a great feeling to have seen the sport sort of grow up around you, with the massive amount of growth we've had in the last 10 years.
Yeah, it's so interesting meeting so many new players most recently, and they just don't know what the history is, right? And
For sure.
so they just have these, this perspective that is so different from mine, and it's exciting. It's exciting. Everybody. I mean, is super stoked to have found the sport and excited for the growth, and so I'm really excited. I mean, it's just nice. It's been amazing to be a part of it, to watch it grow from, the FPO having fields of 4, 6, 8 to now we're getting 50.
Wow. Yeah.
It's I'm so thankful that I get to be part of that.
It's absolutely fantastic, and I want to say thank you on behalf of all the ladies and men around the world who you've been an ambassador for the sport for. So it's been cool seeing you on our YouTube and on our general PDGA feeds and stuff. So yeah, it's been fun watching you shred the Pro Tour.
Yeah, and that stuff really only came into fruition in 2016, right? So maybe within the last 5 years, women have started to get more video coverage, and fans have had the opportunity to get to know the players a little bit more. Previous to that, there was almost no video coverage of women, maybe a handful of tournaments, couple rounds covered, some highlight videos, stuff like that. And now it's actually almost, I believe it's mandated by the PDGA to have FPO coverage.
Yeah, as it should
at
be.
elite series events, which is, I think, part of the push. But I think also just people realize that it's important to grow the sport for everyone. And when it comes to women, if you don't see any women playing out at your local course, and you don't have any video of what women can actually do on the course, then you just don't know. I always like the mantra, if you can see it, you can be it. So the fact that media has stepped up to show what can be is powerful.
Definitely agree completely. And also watching the women play the courses is so much more sort of realistic for the vast majority of people who are playing, because a lot of the women are sort of playing at about a 960 rating, I would say, a lot of the elite women. And for us normal human beings, I feel like 960's probably the maximum sort of ceiling for a lot of disc golfers, be it women or men. And so watching how the women attack a course is often much more useful for our own disc golf games than watching how the men attack a course, because I'm never going to be able to throw a 600-foot drive over an ocean, as like you see the MPO players doing. But watching the smart way that some of the women these days sort of attack the course with 2 shots and leaving themselves an easy birdie, whereas the men are flailing around in the OB and scrambling for par, is certainly, it's a different aspect of the sport which I really enjoy.
Yeah, I've always thought that was applicable more to the larger majority of people's games, but it's really up to the viewer for what they want to see. I mean, if they are over the distance is king concept and appreciate some of the nuance of course management and disc selection and shot shaping, then I think they're going to appreciate the women's side of the game. If they're maybe newer to the sport and don't quite understand some of those concepts, I can see how, they just wide-eyed, eyes looking at, Eagle or Simon or Girthy just throw a bomb, and just, so impressive, even more so impressive in person than even on
definitely.
Video. So I can appreciate that people enjoy that, both of those situations. And I'm, hoping to appeal to maybe the little bit more second level audience when it comes to the women's side. I think that they can understand how great it is.
Definitely. We've got we were lucky enough to have Silver Lart come over and play in the UK. I think it was the summer before last, and getting to watch his sidearm in person was something incredible. Like, you don't realize how fast the disc comes out of someone's hand until you see it up close. So
yeah, video doesn't quite do a lot of players justice.
Yeah, it's ridiculous to watch. Ridiculous.
But if that's the only thing you've got going and you can't, there aren't any events near you, I mean, it's certainly a great second choice.
Oh yeah, for sure. Definitely. And yeah, the UK's sort of local players, we've got some good players. We've got a few people closing in on 1,000 now. So we've got a few players getting up there. But yeah, we don't have anything quite like the elite sort of level yet. But the next few years,
I imagine the land use is a huge issue over there.
Yeah, definitely. We pretty much have to either have the majority of our courses be shared facilities with either ball golf or stick golf. or foot golf even, or we end up with courses that are at like activity centres, or there's only a very select few sort of dedicated disc golf courses, which make those ones even more special. I know Derek Robbins is in the chat. I'm sure you've come across Derek.
Oh, I was hoping we would mention him. He probably
says
the only one in the UK that I have met a few times.
Yeah, he says hi to you, and yeah, his course, Quarry Park, is a sort of disc golf paradise that we have as a bit of a mecca for disc golf in the UK, because it's one of the dedicated venues that's not in like a public park or something.
Do you guys end up doing like pop-up events, where you have to bring out 18 baskets and put them at random places and create tee pads? Does that happen?
Historically, it used to happen quite a lot. We've got to the point now where we've got sort of 30-ish good courses in the country, so that's sort of dipped a bit as we've got courses in public parks these days where there are dedicated baskets in the ground, so we haven't had so many pop-up events lately.
Oh. So you've moved beyond the pop-up option.
Yeah, the sport has exploded in the UK in the last sort of 2-3 years, especially with all the focus on the pro scene on YouTube. A lot of people find the sport that way around. And yeah, the sport's grown massively. I think a conservative estimate would be it's tripled in size in 3 years here. So
awesome.
So yeah, it's really taken off, and it's great to see. Really excited. Really exciting to see. And yeah, I've only been in disc golf myself for 3 years now, so it's been crazy to watch. And I'm one of the old guys now, which is ridiculous. But
oh gosh, now you're making me feel really old.
I'm sure Ian McDougall and Dell will show up in the chat and make you feel much younger anytime soon.
Perfect.
So yeah, Sarah, the first topic we usually do in the show is the UK Disc Golf News, where we talk about the latest and the greatest in the UK Disc Golf world. I'm not sure if you're aware, but right now we are under stay-at-home lockdown orders still. We've been advised by our sanctioning committee that disc golf is not essential travel and we shouldn't be out on the course. But local field work is the name of the game, and we're making do, and we're excited to be able to go out and play again in hopefully not too long.
Well, just so you guys know, Juliana Korver told me a story once. She's 5-time world champion, right? That I don't know I hope you've heard of her, but maybe not at this point because you're only 3 years in. But she's super amazing woman, and she right in the middle of her main seasons and when she was like one of the best players in the world, she didn't have a course near her, and she did all her training in the field. So
it's definitely
you might come out better than you thought you would once you get back on the courses.
Yeah, working at it. My Juliana Korver story is that when I'd only been playing disc golf for about 9 months or something, and I was lucky enough to go to a clinic at Dell's Quarry Park course with Jay and Des Redding, and so I met Jay and Des, and we were chatting, and Des showed me, I think it was a JK AVR that she'd had for something like 15 years or something ridiculous. And so I've always known who Juliana Korver is from that.
Oh, so you're one of the few. I feel like a lot of people just hear that, like they see that JK and they just think it's a type of plastic like DX or Champion or whatever. And they don't realize that that's like a person.
I met someone the other day who thought it was James Conrad, just Conrad was spelled with a K.
That's great. Anyway, now everybody knows JK is Juliana, if you don't already.
We've got Dell in the chat saying that he played his first disc golf tournament before you were born, trying to help make you feel young again.
Thanks. They had disc golf before that?
Apparently so. So yeah,
it just started.
Other UK disc golf news that we've had in the last week or so. Of course, the Disc Golf UK, who are our sponsors for the show. Sorry, I got confused and didn't introduce our sponsors at the start. We've got Disc Golf UK sponsoring the show as always, and of course London Disc Golf Community sponsoring the YouTube stream. Shout out to both of them and check out their websites. And speaking of Disc Golf UK, check out their new website, which went live today. So all of the stock that they've been saving up since before Christmas that hasn't been on the old site is now live on the new site. So there's hundreds and hundreds of discs, 300 molds, lots and lots of each one. So go get them. And the first 30 orders on the new website will be given a Proto Delta plastic Code X, which is one of the discs made here in the UK. So there's a new disc golf manufacturer called Disc Golf UK. Sarah, and they've got a new plastic of one of their discs. So the first few people who get one will get an order in, will get a free one. So that's pretty exciting.
Is that the first manufacturer in the UK?
So we had one a long time ago called, I think, Discwing.
Oh yeah, I've heard of them.
That made discs for a few years and then went under. And then Disc Golf UK started making discs in 2018. And yeah, they're actually pretty good. They're surprisingly good. I really dig some of them, and their putters are fantastic. I've got one here. So this is the Launch Disc Golf, which is their sub brand Lander, with my signature art on it. These are available on the new Disc Golf UK website if you wanted to get one, and on Infinite Discs next week, I think. So there you go, art by John Dawn, if you've heard of him.
Oh yes, teammate of mine.
Yeah, amazing.
Good friend. Actually, I'll be seeing him in a week. I'm excited for that.
There you go. Yeah, well, you'll have to say
wow, that's so cool.
It's in the Don't Shoot discs. So yeah, these are made in the UK, and they're really good.
Yeah, I bet it's so nice also to have local access to them instead of having to do all the international shipping, and nobody has plastic right now, and none of the manufacturers have it in stock. So that's great that they have so much in stock right now to sell to people.
And these Disc Golf UK discs are absolutely fantastic for beginners as well, because there's loads of putters and mid ranges, and they've got really good baseline plastic, so it's quite cheap to get them out to beginners. So you can get the starter set for £25, which is a great deal, and they sell loads of them on eBay and stuff to new players. And I rock up at my local course and see people out with their kids, and they're just throwing the Disc Golf UK starter sets. So it's really great to see.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, also in the UK Disc Golf news, we've got a player over here called Rafa. Lots of you in the chat will know Rafa, and he's signed a sponsorship deal with CRK Disc Golf, who are one of the biggest Spanish disc golf teams, and they are organising the Spanish Open. And so shout out to Rafa for his sponsorship deal. Cool to see UK players getting sponsored always. And yeah, some things that you'll be excited about, I think, Sarah. So we've got the Women's Bag Tag League, Women's National Bag Tag League, which is this concept that Carol Finley came up with. Carol, who works with Uplay with Zoe Andyke over here. And yeah, she's come up with this bag tag league, and she's been making these beautiful bag tags. And they've just reached their 40th member, which is so 40 women competing in the UK, which is numbers that are sort of 10 times what we normally see over here until lately. And there's also this Women's Global event that's happening in May. Fingers crossed we get to have ours, because we may still be under some kind of restrictions, but if we're not, they've got 27 women signed up already. So yeah, absolutely stellar job that Zoe is doing, and Carol, of course. So let's go, guys, and I'm really excited to see.
Excellent. Zoe Winfield, right?
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah, I was chatted with her a little bit about her global event. So I'm really hoping that it works out, that that the regulations allow it to happen.
Yeah, I really hope
also,
so.
I was wondering, you mentioned the bag tag league. How do they do that? Like, do they all get together at the same course and compete, or do they have some kind of a virtual thing?
Now, so the idea is that they're all going to give out and hand out the tags. They're going to do it live on this show next week, actually. So Carol's my guest next week, and so we're going to do an initial drawing for all the tags, and they're going to send them out in the post. Everyone's paying, I think, like £8 or £10 or something, not very much, to get their tags in, and then yeah, anytime any of the women meet up to play at any course in the country around really anywhere. Anyone who's got the tags can just say, "Oh yeah, we're tags in for this round," and compete. A bit like a sort of a club bag tag event, but nationally. So it's quite an exciting concept, and it's women's only, which is the exciting thing.
That's awesome! What a great idea. How far? I don't know. I've never driven in the UK. How far away are, like, if you're going to go from like north to south or east to west? What kind of driving distance is that? Yeah,
so like, to go between any two sort of major cities, it's about 2 or 3 hours. And then if you wanted to get from our sort of disc golf community in Scotland, is sort of around Glasgow, Edinburgh. And if you wanted to get from there to London, it's probably 5-6 hours. So that's kind of the general scale.
Really doable to kind of...
Yeah, the distances are similar to inside of one state in America, pretty much. So
awesome. How fun.
Yeah, it's really great. So,
thank you to Carol and Zoe for doing that too.
Yeah,
that's so cool.
They're absolutely smashing it right now. It's amazing to see so much growth in the women's scene right now, and we've got so many women in the chat right now here to hear what you have to say, Sarah. So
Yeah, and what they're doing, it's those grassroots efforts that really, have the biggest impact on like the numbers of regional women that play. If you look at the history of women's only events in the United States, the first women's only events were kind of on a national basis, and they were very low attended. And then like the Texas area started doing the Texas Women's Championships, and that one now has been going for 20 some years. And Texas has one of the biggest draws for open women. Similarly, Michigan started Aaron Oakley started the Disc Girls Gone Wild up there, and you see a huge amount of women playing up there. And same thing with the Chick Flick in Oregon, or some of the original women-only events that have really propelled the participation of women in those areas. So the things Carol and Zoe are doing are exactly the steps to start making a big, bringing a big draw of women into the UK. So that's really great to hear.
Yeah, it definitely is cool. And yeah, just a heads up, Sarah, we're going to have to restart the call in about 10 minutes. Somehow at some point there was 3 of us in here, and it has given me a heads up, but we'll just have to restart the Zoom call. I'll make sure you know where to go. But yeah, for now, okay. we can keep going. So yeah, for the women's global event, you've got until March the 1st, 2021. So you've got the rest of this month to sign up if you're here and you're a woman and you want to sign up. And then after that, it's going to get opened up to the male divisions, which are going to be run as a side event. So we've got enough PDGA propagators to be able to get ratings out to all of you guys. So got the women's only sign up for the rest of the month, and then there's going to be some men allowed to join as well, assuming it doesn't fill up before then.
Yeah, with 27 women, you might have enough propagators.
Yeah, maybe. Almost all of them are brand new PDGA members, which is really cool to see.
Oh, okay. But, yeah, so they don't have a rating.
Yeah, we've got. I think there might be 3 already that are propagators, so that's good.
Oh, that's so awesome. The Women's Global event has really just, every year we have it, we get so many more female members. So many women use the Women's Global event as their first tournament to play.
Yeah.
They're dipping their toes. The women's committee, we're the ones who kind of run the global side of the tournament. And it is a huge undertaking for us. It's a volunteer committee, and it's just, like I said, a huge undertaking. It's all a side work for all of us outside of our regular careers. But I know that we are considering the idea of making it every year because it's so important. It's not a decision yet. We're still working on streamlining the process, so it's something we can do every year. But I think, if we don't do it every year starting now, I think that it will, in the near future, it will be a yearly event.
I really hope so, because that would be fantastic. And again, with so many new people joining the sport every year at the moment, that it'll be absolutely great to get to see so many people getting to play their first event. Because again, I agree, women's only events, great way to get started, especially if you're doing that. So yeah, in other disc golf news, that's all the new UK news we've got for this week. But in regular disc golf news, the All-Star event, Sarah, that you'll be playing in, which is something I'm very excited about. So for anyone who doesn't know, this will be live on the Disc Golf Network, not this weekend coming, but the weekend after. It's going to be at the Fountain Hills course, I believe. And yeah, the format is really cool. I think it's going to be a really fun format. So basically, they've made a 9-hole layout right around the edge of the lake at the Fountain Hills course. And there's going to be doubles on the first day, and then a singles event on the second day. And basically, your score from the doubles event carries over to the singles score. We're going to be split into men's and women's again. And the doubles pairings are going to be, on the women's side, Paige Pierce and Heather Young, Katrina Allen and Kona, Sarah Hokom and Jessica Weiss, and Hayley King and Missy Gannon. And on the men's side, Paul Macbeth and Garrett Gerthy, Calvin Heimberg and Kevin Jones, Ricky Wysocki, Nico LaCastro, and Eagle McMahon and Chris Dickerson. So absolutely fantastic to get some live disc golf back on our screens. Can't wait.
Yeah, it's very. I love that the Pro Tour is just coming up with these really unique concepts. They're just trying stuff, just let's try some stuff and see what sticks. I appreciate how kind of progressive they are in that way. Not everything that they do works out really well, but they make the adjustments and move on. So I think
Definitely.
we are lucky to have the future of the pro side in the hands of the Pro Tour at the moment.
Yeah, I completely couldn't agree more, and it's fantastic to see it, and all of the things that they're doing to bring it to us all via the Disc Golf Network, via even the little things like bringing Jamie Thomas on full time to sort of manage the Disc Golf Network's content stuff should just elevate the quality of what they can produce. Just they're really investing in making the sport something that is sort of financially viable and possible and economically successful. So it's super exciting to see, and with things like the payouts that they managed to achieve for the Pro Tour finale last year, it really feels like the sky's the limit on what they can achieve.
Yeah, not only have they hired Jamie Thomas, but they also hired full time Sean Jack. He's in there. He's the money getter. He's the marketing dude. He's the one that basically was able to secure the funds for the Pro Tour Championship payout. And now they've hired him on full time to do that. He was doing that just in his free time, almost volunteer basis as part of the board for the Pro Tour. And now they've hired him, and I mean the sky's the limit. With somebody actually paid to get money for the organization.
Yeah, it's going to be really cool to see what they can achieve.
Yeah, if there's anybody out there in the world that's really good at talking big businesses out of their money, there is opportunities in disc golf. I've always wondered, it's hard to find the person, right? That person is a unique individual. But in the end, I always figure if someone was given an incentive like 20 to 30% of what they raise, and then the 70 or 80% goes to the tournament, it seems like it would be a position every TD could use as a volunteer. But it's not even a volunteer, it's basically a paid position, but you get paid based upon how well you do.
Like on commission. That sounds like something that more and more tournament directors might easily consider like bringing in as their events become legitimized by things like the Disc Golf Network and things like the Jomez that they're getting out, being able to do the video coverage. And it's going to be really exciting when we get to the point in the sport where the video coverage itself is so profitable that the tournament directors can charge the video companies to come and film rather than paying them to come out. And I think we're
without a doubt,
we're teetering on that bridge right now.
Yeah, I agree. We are getting there, I think. It's very interesting too, because being in the game for so long, the environment has changed. That things I said 2 years ago no longer apply. Just because of how quickly the environment has changed. And this is another one of those things.
Yeah, it's really exciting to see it grow sort of so rapidly that you can actually, just 2 years ago, things are different between now and then. So
I guess the other thing is that really requires us to be very forward thinking when it comes to the future to avoid as many growing pains as we can. It's one of the big pushes that I have been making this year so far, is ensuring that there are enough FPO spots reserved for tournaments for the Elite Series. We have so many women on tour. I mean, I'm gonna guess there's more than 30 women gonna play 80% of the events.
Wow.
On the road, right? Maybe not full-time road, but playing enough of the events that I would consider them a touring golfer. And so ensuring that TDs are aware that the numbers are jumping, they're not just creeping. So giving us the same number of registration spots or just a few more is going to leave a lot of women who want to play the event out of it. And sometimes there's reasons that TDs have to limit the number of spots for FPO, and I understand that, or they have other reasons why they can't, add a lot more spots. However, my goal is to ensure that no TDs enter their registration system and say, wow, I would have given you so many more spots if I had known that the FPO players were interested in playing.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my goal. And then is just basically to give us too many spots. And if those don't fill, it can be easily given to the MPO waitlist.
Definitely. Yeah. It's better that way around than getting some other people who might miss out on a spot if they don't allocate enough. So do you think that the goal that we've got coming forward would be to try and get it so that there was the same number of spots for women and men. Is that sort of the end goal?
I would think so. I would think so in the end, but that's many years away, I think, at this point.
For sure.
Yeah, there's also, there's some logic out there that would say that we don't deserve that many spots. We're only 10% of the PDGA participation. Why should we be giving 50-50 spots? I don't agree with that logic, but there's certainly individuals out there that would use that as a reason why we shouldn't have the same number of spots or whatever. So there's a little bit to combat there, but I think in the end, that's the goal, is to be able to offer the same number of spots for both women and men, and that be of equal caliber of play, and that, that's
definitely.
And then in that way, you would definitely have equal payouts
sure.
because the distribution is the same. So yeah, I mean, I could see that. I can't see that in the near future, but.
Oh, we're going to have to send a new Zoom link out. 2 seconds. Let me get that dialed up. Sorry, guys. We don't normally have this problem, but we had to have Sarah join 2 different times to get her setup working. Let me just get that link sent over. Please put any questions you have for Sarah in the chat. And let us know what you want us to talk about later in the episode. Any things you want to find out from Sarah. And we'll get her right back in the call any minute. While you do that, I will drop you a quick advertisement. Where's my advert screen? Here we go. Boom. Oh, we're going to have to drag Sarah back into her box. She's returned. But yeah, guys, Don't Shoot charity auction. Very excited about this, as you guys know, but we need more discs to be donated into the Don't Shoot charity auction. We've not got very many arrived yet. So what we're doing is we're raising money for 2 amazing charities in the US. We're raising money for Uplay, and we're raising money for The Edge, for Jay and Des Redding's charity. We're doing a live auction on the 25th of March, and we need you guys to send us stuff to auction off. I'll be here on camera for nearly 3 hours. We'll be getting as much money raised as we can. I'll be doing forfeits if we reach donation goals, and yeah, we're just generally going to be doing lots of awesome stuff and raising money for charity, trying to raise $1,000. So yeah, send things over to the address that is on my Facebook page on the shipping label, post it out, and we will get the auction done. Sarah, I think you're back in a box. There you go. So for anyone who doesn't know,
I can't see you now.
Okay. Turn your camera back on, and there you go, and I'll just quickly start mine up again. Apologies.
Okay. I see your profile picture. Oh, there you are. Yeah. That's really cool, that auction idea. Are you open to, I know that you want stuff sent to you because then you can hold it up and show people and auction it, but have you considered letting people ship it? If I have some discs that I'd be willing to donate, could I just ship them to the winner?
Yeah, absolutely.
Instead of shipping them to UK and then all the way back to whoever. So
yeah.
Could I do a virtual donation and then be responsible for the shipping?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so that's a really good point. What we'll end up doing with most of the discs is I will personally end up paying or the buyer will be working out individually with each buyer, but somebody will end up paying the shipping this end, so everything's getting centralized. But if people want to donate virtual objects like gift cards for stores, if you want to donate discs that you're going to send directly to the person if they might not get here in time for the auction, yeah, just send me a Facebook message, and we'll get that hooked up. I'm really excited to get as many people to donate something as they can. Even like I said, if it's just something like a half an hour video disc golf lesson, or it's a voucher for £5 off your disc golf store if you're a business, or we've had some really cool pledges from a certain disc golf business that I'm not allowed to spoil yet, but we're going to have some merch in. What somebody's done is they didn't have anything they thought was worthwhile auctioning themselves, so they've gone to Disc Golf UK's website and just ordered a disc, Get Freaky Zone, that we're going to be able to auction. So yeah, people are contributing in really creative ways, and we're going to raise loads of money for charity, which is going to be cool. Yeah,
and those 2 charities, both of them are really just, my favorites in the sport. Outside of, I also love Throw Pink.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, those 3 charities are definitely my favorites. I mean, also there's also another option for people who are looking for a charity in disc golf, is the Disc Golf Foundation. That's another pretty powerful charity within the sport.
Do you want to maybe tell us a little bit about that?
I don't know a ton about it, other than I think they're the ones that kind of, they award some of the like international grants, and like you basically just send in a proposal and they decide if they can give you money. I think that the PDGA may filter some of their funds through that to be charitable.
Okay, that makes sense.
So yeah, I actually, you know what? Elaine King could tell you a lot about this. I've only seen a few things that they've done, other than their goals. Actually, you know what? I'm not qualified to talk about this.
So guys, if you want to know about the Disc Golf Foundation, what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to check out our friend Rene, the Danish Disc Golf Guys show, this weekend. I think it's on Saturday. Go check out his show because Elaine King is the guest. So
perfect.
There you go.
Yeah.
On Sunday, there you go. Sunday, not Saturday.
Okay.
So we got some questions for you from the chat, Sarah. I want to do your Desert Island Discs next, but yeah, we got some questions for you. We've got Alun says, "Hi Sarah, what is your number one tip for reducing unwanted torque on your forehand?"
Typically, it would be changing your grip. That would be my suggestion, is to play with your grip a little bit and the angle of the disc in your hand, like how you're actually like very subtle things. And then the other concept I would say is to ensure that the angle of your forearm is not drastically different than the angle of release, right? So your forearm is an important part of that. And if your wrist snap happens and puts your disc at an angle that's drastically different than your forearm, then you'll get more torque. So I would take some slow-mo video and see where that forearm angle is according to the disc angle you're trying to produce.
Great answer, and something that I wish I could do myself and definitely can't. But I personally, my disc golf game, my forehand is not really a thing, and I have issues with my wrists with the snap that you need for forehand. So I throw right hand backhand and left hand backhand. So
nice.
I found a way to adapt, but it would be cool to be able to throw a distance forehand one day.
Yeah, another quick thing is make sure the disc is aerodynamic. Like you want a flat disc, not a domey disc.
There you go.
Yeah.
Shane wanted to know, what discs do you mainly throw for forehand distance?
Distance, I throw a Relativity and a Vanish.
There you go. Those are big boy discs. Those are big girl discs, or however you want to say it. Yeah, they're. I have tried throwing a Relativity before, and it didn't really go well.
I just put that in my bag last year, and I don't typically throw a 14.5 speed driver, just because I'm looking for more reliability and consistency rather than distance in golf, not distance contest. But I have been able to figure it out well enough, and it gets me 30 or 40 extra feet.
There you go.
So it's
worth having in the
been worth it. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Especially for those holes where like that sort of 30 or 40 feet further forward isn't punished if you are 20 or 30 feet further left or 20 or 50 feet short. For example, like a longer par 4 where you're very easily able to get a par, but very unlikely to get a birdie. I find having a disc in your bag that you're sort of 70% confident you can throw where you're aiming it is not necessarily a bad thing on holes where there's not going to be a penalty where you mess it up.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, it depends on the kind of course you're playing, and certainly, we have a lot less penalty-free shots on the Pro Tour than I think a typical player would get in a normal tournament. But yeah, it's worth it for me to get that extra 30 feet, and then I'm not trying to make a 60-footer. I have the opportunity to make a 30-footer.
Yeah, there's a really great example I love to use on my home course, which is Manchester Disc Golf. We've got on our red layout, we've got a par 4, which is about 123 or 124 meters, which is about, I think, 440 feet or so. So for me, getting a 3 on it is incredibly easy. There's not really anything that can go wrong, but getting a 2 on it is incredibly unlikely because my max distance is about 110 meters, so it's about I'm in circle 2 if I smash one. But it's one of those holes where it's worth having a distance driver that I really don't have the arm for, just in case I happen to get it right.
Oh, right. Yep.
Yeah.
Because you're not really risking anything if you miss the shot.
No, you just sort of...
As long as you throw it at least 100 feet.
Yeah,
you're...
exactly. Yeah.
That's enough. That's cool, yeah.
Yeah, agreed. Let's have a look at chat and see what else we've got. We've got Shelby says, "Hi Sarah, welcome to Texas. What are your thoughts on the changes that James Conrad can bring to Team MVP?"
Well, I think he's already brought a little bit more visibility to the company. And in general, I think he's going to show so many of the fans what someone with his arm speed can do, and the shot selections he's going to make, which discs he gravitates towards. I think one of the things MVP had as an issue prior to, the first 5-6 years of their existence is they didn't really have any players that were at the elite level that, that people could see like which molds of these are kind of the most solid molds, which ones are going to be the greatest, differences, but also give you the greatest shot variety. Which ones are going to be molded consistently enough in their individual molds that, a professional player is going to pick that mold and be able to get the same flight over and over again. Right. So, it's kind of been established for many years, like with Innova, everybody's got a destroyer, a T-bird, a rock, and an AVR. With Discraft, it's like you got a Force, you got a Buzz, you got a, I don't know what their fairways, like a Undertaker and a
that's
Challenger.
Definitely one. There you go.
Right, you've got the lineups, right? With MVP, there's so many discs, and there hasn't been kind of an established professional kind of guide to what variety of molds seems to be the go-tos.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be something cool to see. James Conrad is going to be able to establish that, because for those of us, so you probably don't know, but I also throw a lot of MVP. Yeah, it's about half my bag. So for those of us who do that, it's like you say Rock, Destroyer, so and so, and I just think like NV, Reactor, Tesla. Like I've got the list I go through in my head, but I guess the general public don't have that exposure yet. So I think that's a really great point.
Yeah, so I think just more people understanding that the discs fly great, and that these are some of the more popular molds, and
yeah,
and he's just such a good dude. I'm excited to see him throw the plastic.
Definitely. I think my answer to the question would be pretty much the same, but I would also add there's sometimes you see on social media there's a bit of a stigma about MVP's driver molds not being as good as the rest of their bags. I've heard a lot of people say, "Oh, MVP make great putters, or their mids are pretty good, but I don't know about their drivers." Whereas for me personally, MVP's drivers I think are fantastic. So I'm really looking forward to there being a bit more visibility of James Conrad smashing 600-foot drives on, I don't know, his Photon or whatever he ends up throwing, and everyone gets to see that, and maybe that stigma will go away a little bit.
Yeah, it's always interesting to me when I hear someone say, "Oh, I just don't like those rims," and I'm like, I've been playing this game for so long, and those rims are they might as well not be different, right? Like, it doesn't matter the way I hold the disc. I can't feel the rim in my stroke, in my grip. It's like, I don't like when people get kind of just weirded out by it.
Yeah.
I don't have an answer for them, because I'm just like, I think this is in your head, bro. These discs fly great, and the rim has, it has a gyro effect, yes, on the flight, but when you're holding the disc in your hand, it's not like the rim is like a problem. You know, like you can't even really feel. If you try to feel for it, sure, but like, how many people are actually gripping it at the junction point between the overmold and the rim? Like, the people aren't gripping it there. Maybe it is like partially touching your hand, but like, can you really feel that junction, and it bugs you? Like, I mean, maybe they can, and I'm just silly, but
yeah,
to me, I'm always confused by that one.
I've never felt that difference myself, and for me, having all the rims feel the same, which the gyro overmold really does add to the disc, is actually a benefit. Like, you can pretty much grab any sort of MVP mid or any MVP driver, and it feels like all their other ones, which for me is a really big benefit.
Yeah, and honestly, for me, I think you're talking about Discraft is known for their their mids and yada yada. I really think that MVP's strongest lineup is their fairways. The fairways I throw in this company they fly way faster, way further, and just more. There's more variability. There's more ability to manipulate the lines. There's more options. And I mean, I'm throwing super slow driver, 6.5 speeds, further than I was throwing 8 speeds.
That's awesome.
With more consistency. So I think that gyro effect really, really has an impact, even more so on the lower speed discs. So I can throw my reactor, I throw that further than I've ever thrown a mid. The Envy is a great flying putter. I don't know I couldn't really say distance wise that it's throwing further than other putters. I don't really know, but I can't really say that per se, but definitely the mids and the fairways fly further for me at lower speeds than any other manufacturer.
Sure. Yeah, I think I would say I'd noticed that with the reactor as well. So yeah, check that one out, guys. And speaking of MVP's molds, I'm sure we're going to see some in the next segment of the show, which is the Desert Island Disc segment. Let's get that pretty graphic up. So yeah, Sarah, this is the question I like to ask all of my guests. You're going to be playing a disc golf round on a magical desert island course. There's going to be a mix of water carries, open holes, wooded shots. The island's magic, so you're going to get your discs back, so you can bring your favorites, but you're only allowed to bring 3: 1 putter, 1 mid-range, and 1 driver. What are you going to bring?
Well, first off, can I ride a unicorn?
Yeah, definitely.
In this magical. Okay.
You could have a unicorn caddy if you like.
Okay. All right. All right. Perfect. Maybe it'll be one of those centaur unicorns so that they can talk to me too while we're discussing shot selection. Anyway, so.
I'll allow it.
So my first disc, did you ask which 3?
Yes.
All 3 of them?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So putting, I'm going to have to go with the Plasma Envy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this thing. And this happens to be the birdie. Whoa, which way?
There you go.
This is the birdie. This is the birdie version of it by Boda Brothers. If you've ever played if you've gotten to play the new board game, Birdie, Steve and Todd Dodge created the board game, and it's really, really fun. They just came out with an expansion pack where you can actually play as me.
Okay.
You can play with my strengths and weaknesses and see if you can win the game as me. There's Simon is another player, I believe Macbeth, and Val Jenkins maybe might be the 4th.
Nice.
Anyway, yeah, the expansion pack has some fun stuff in it, and it has Yarva and Maple Hill.
Cool. Oh, that's really good. I'll have to check that out. We gave a copy away on the show, but I didn't get one myself, so.
Oh, it's really fun. It's just like disc golf, but you're sitting at a table and talking crap to your friends.
I like it.
Well, yeah, I guess you're doing that on the course too, probably. Anyway, I picked the Envy because I can putt with it pretty well. It's stable enough that it can handle a little bit of wind, and it's a great throwing putter, both sidearm and backhand. So then the other disc I'm going to bring is the mid is going to be the Reactor. It's nice. It's straight, stable. It goes pretty far for a mid. It's the furthest flying mid I've thrown. And you can manipulate it enough to get a little turn, but it has a predictable fade. So you could throw quite a few different shots. I'd be throwing this both backhand and sidearm to, manipulate the shot however it needed to be. Mostly for approach shots or shorter holes. And then for the driver, this is a tough one because it's, if you really want distance, I need to throw a faster driver. But if I want consistency and the ability to throw a lot of different shots with the same disc, I'm going to need a fairway. So I went with my beat-in Crave.
Okay, cool.
So I love the Relay and the Crave, and I carry probably 6 or 7 of the combination of the 2 molds of varying beat-in-ness stabilities, so that I can kind of just go up and down the fairway lineup depending on what I need for a particular shot. So this is right in the middle. It's flippy for a Crave, little stable for a relay. It's kind of right in between. And I can throw this sidearm and backhand, get turned, throw a hyzer. It's really easy to manipulate lots of different lines.
I love it. Jack of all trades disc. Brilliant, cool.
Yeah.
Well, I definitely concur with those ones, guys. And if you want to check them out, you can. I would definitely encourage you to get them because they're all fantastic. I need to actually.
So what's yours then? Yours NV reactor, and then what's the driver?
Oh, so I actually, when I did mine on the show a few weeks ago, but I mixed it up a little bit because I'm also a big fan of Castoplast. I don't know if you can see my Falk behind me, but my driver will be my Falk. I think putter would definitely be my NV. Mid-range, I go between my reactor and my KZ, one of Castoplast's mid-ranges. But yeah, I'm a bit of a fanboy of both brands, so I mix it up a bit. But yeah, my so you use your Crave, but I like the Drift as well. The streamline Drift.
A little faster, similar stability though. I think just a little faster.
Yeah, I carry two in my bag, and I have one which is really straight that goes absolutely miles, and then I have one which is like a little bit lighter and it's quite flippy. So
nice.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, a Lift is kind of in that category as well. A little faster than a Drift. Yeah, that's cool. Nice.
Yeah, the Lift and the Falk are fairly similar.
Yeah, that's one thing I love about MVP's plastic is there's just slight variations, and then if you go from MVP to Axiom, you're getting a similar disc with a slight tune. You're getting and I think that's just powerful. You're being able to kind of work between the two companies and find the exact version of that type of a disc you're looking for. Definitely.
I think it's something that you can do in their drivers as well. So like my distance drivers, I only have the arm speed for speed 11 really, but I got 2 waves, I got 2 photons, and then I got a phase, and you get the whole range of stabilities across discs that feel exactly the same. And I think that's really cool that you can do that.
That's really powerful, yeah.
Definitely. I got a question from Amy, who's my wife, who's next door, and she wants to know how many discs you own.
That's a good question. Hundreds? Probably not 1,000. I really only keep ones that are really sentimental. I mean, I have some old collectors. Probably have like 2 or 3 boxes of collector stuff, 4 boxes. So that's like 100 collector discs. And then I probably have like 300 or 400 at the moment. But really only 100 of them are collectors and like 50 of them are my throwers. And then the rest of them are stuff I sell or give away or whatever.
That's cool. That's definitely, that's good. That's a good number, I think, considering it's your
my
job.
van carries 800 discs.
Ooh, solid.
Along with 2 huge pop-up tents, some feather banners, and the works for setting up events and stuff.
What do you think next door, Amy, who says in chat, okay, so about the same as Harry? I have significantly fewer than that. But I think now you've said that, I'm gonna be pestering Amy on getting myself a van because really I need it for disc storage, definitely.
Yeah, just for disc storage. There's no other way to store discs but in a van where you might be able to travel to tournaments in.
That's definitely going to have to happen in a few years. I'm going to be in trouble now, but it's worth it.
Sorry, Amy. I'm a bad influence.
Or a very good influence, one of the two. So yeah, Sarah, we've got about 10 minutes of the show left. I'd love to know a little bit more about you. What are your plans going to be like this season?
Playing all the big ones, hoping to come over to your neck of the woods. I won't make it to the UK, but I'm hoping to play the Norway event, the Sulu Open, Sula Open, and then also the European Open. However, I don't know if we're going to be able to travel internationally.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that's still massively up in the air right now.
So I'm hoping to do that. Otherwise, it'll be just every single elite event in the US with very little downtime. I probably won't be running very many events, if any, this year due to production backups and COVID issues. So we'll see how that goes. That's usually kind of how I make side money, is I run events and meet people and sell stuff. So I don't know if that's going to happen, but I'm excited to focus a little bit more on play. And then focusing on my, volunteering with the women's committee and the Respect Her Game campaign. So even if I don't get to meet people that way, running events, I think I'll be able to connect with a lot of people through those two avenues.
Definitely. I think that Respect Her Game campaign was absolutely fantastic last year, by the way. I really enjoyed taking part in it and seeing all the things that went on. We did a special sort of mini episode here with one of the UK's highest rated female players, who's called Rachel Turton. And she's brand new to disc golf. She only took it up at the end of the first lockdown here, so in sort of April time. And she's already our highest rated woman, and she's doing great things for the sport and stuff. And she had a question for you in chat, actually, which was, how did you go about getting sponsored the first time originally, and how would you recommend young women players get sponsored for the first time?
Yeah, sure. So I mean, when I was playing, it was a different environment than it is now. When I first got sponsored, when I was first sponsored, you didn't really get sponsored unless you actually were on the road, placing high at events. There was no underground teams. There wasn't any social media stars per se getting sponsorships. So I had played for about a year and a half. I believe it was the beginning of 2011 or 2010. And I was touring in the summertime, and I won an A tier, and then I won a couple more events. And then I had a friend on Team Discraft who put a good word in for me, and they picked me up that year.
Awesome.
Yeah. But now I think that it's a combination of factors that is the best method, right? Definitely practicing and getting good and dialing in your form, all of those things, becoming the best player, and the continuous education of how, to improve yourself. I think that's number one, for sure. Most important is play, get good, play big tournaments. But then there's always that avenue, secondly, that, they want, because of social media is such a big deal in our world, our world right now, that you have to have a social media presence now to get sponsored. I don't think very many people are getting sponsored without that right now. So sure. Number one, number two, and then beyond that, if you're still not sponsored and you're good and you have a social media presence, man, reach out to me. I'll sponsor you.
There you go, Rachel. So basically what Sarah's saying is, come on the show as a guest is step one.
I'm not sure that's exactly what I said, but I think that'll help too.
That's what I heard. That's definitely what I heard. So got another question for you from Kolbrun from Iceland, who wants to know, what are your most and least favorite moments or memories around tournaments? That's a bit of a big question, isn't it?
That is kind of a thinker.
Just give us one moment that sticks out. One good one, one bad one. How about
that? Okay, one good one. Are we talking about a specific moment or general moments?
Let's go specific.
Okay, yeah. So specifically, there's probably been quite a few. Hitting the ace at San Francisco a couple years ago and getting that on ESPN, that was really cool. Just hitting the ace and, just this big downhill shot that just perfectly executed, just sits in the chains. I mean, those moments. I also hit an ace on top of the world at De La Viega. But it wasn't during a tournament. No, but I think it's hard for me to remember the putt I made to win the world title. It's called a blur now. But that moment, I'm nervous as everything. I can't hardly even contain that part. And I'm stepping up to a putt. I'm tied for the lead. I have a putt to win. It's uphill. I just watched Katrina Allen try to putt it 4 times and it roll away. So I make the putt, and then I just get tackled by all my teammates. I don't really show a lot of emotion when I play, and that's probably the most emotion I've ever shown at that moment. So I would say that's probably the most memorable. The worst, probably when I had the yips in 2014. I probably 6-putted a hole or something, and it was on film, and I wanted to quit disc golf altogether and go hide in a corner. And those moments, any of those moments when I've had the putting yips, mostly that year, were awful. It's just mortifying. You're like, it's like my hand's not even attached to my body. People look at you like, oh my God, I can't believe you just missed that. And nobody wants to watch you try to make the putt after you've missed it 4 times.
It's really rough to watch as well when you're just seeing someone struggling and you know that they can do it because you've seen them be able to do it throughout the rest of their entire career, and then you see them miss like a 20-footer that they're going to drain.
I'm talking 12-footers.
Yeah,
10-footers.
I was being generous, but
those are, oh gosh, those are mortifying, and they happen. I'm sure we've all seen that happen, either on the big stage or in our local events. So those are oh God.
A really funny story. A funny story I like to tell about that is on the final of the Quarry Park Open when Central Coast were filming for us in the UK, which is the only time we've had a UK course on a big channel. The guy who was winning the tournament, Tony Farrow. I don't know if you've come across him. He's from he's American, but he lives in Switzerland, and fantastic player. I think he's 10-20 something rated. Like, he's really solid player. But nice. He had maybe a 3-meter putt, so like 9-12 feet putt for. He had like 6 strokes in hand or something. It didn't matter that he missed it, but it was the sort of, he was tapping out to. All the other players had already finished. He was tapping out to win the tournament, and he just missed like a really short putt, which I thought was absolutely hilarious, but I don't think he did.
Yeah, no, it's when you're that person missing the putt, it's mortifying, and like you don't even want to watch it. Like you just want to crawl into a hole and hope that just magically just ends up in the basket. No, I've actually but I will say some of the methods for dealing with this, because I'm sure people out here have dealt with the yips. One method is for short putts, start using a different putting technique completely. Whether that's turbo putting, flip putting, putting with the opposite hand, changing from a spin to a push or vice versa. That's my recommendation, is to completely revamp your game, your short putting game. Any of those putts that are doing that, because what I've read is that it's actually like a neurological issue, and it's not that it's exacerbated by anxiety, but that it's like you literally, like they've done studies on it in ball golf, and found that it's a neurological hitch that you literally, like, you don't have control over that. So it is from repetitive motion.
That's crazy.
So my suggestion is to completely change the motion if you feel like you can't control it at all. Just change the motion to a different style of putt or a different hand. Chris Sprague, actually, probably a lot of people don't know who he is anymore, but really talented player from Iowa. He used to putt left-handed inside of like 15 feet.
That's cool.
And that was how he was able to manage it and still be a great player. So anyway, if that helps anybody, I hope so.
Yeah, no, really great advice. Thanks so much for sharing. So yeah, we've reached pretty much the end of the show, Sarah. 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock for us. I want to say a massive thank you for coming on.
Yeah, it's been great chatting with you, and I'm so happy to connect with players in the UK, and I hope to someday get over to your beautiful country and check out the sites and the courses.
Please do come and
I
play.
would love to do that. Yes, it's on the bucket list.
So, will you be having a signature disc this year, and is it possible to buy them in Europe? Is the final question.
Ooh, that is a good question. So, I will be having a signature disc this year, and it should be coming out really, really soon. I can't tell you what it is yet. It'll be available on the MVP Pro Shop. It will also be available directly through me and through any retailers that order from the MVP as manufacturers. Or not manufacturers, as stores.
If it's available from MVP retailers, we'll definitely get it then. So that's good.
Yeah, so it should be out. I'm gonna guess in the next month or two, it'll be out. So yeah, please support me in that way. I'm really excited to share the release with everyone, and you're gonna love the disc.
Can't wait. Definitely have to get my hands on it. And everyone in chat saying thank you to you, Sarah. So thanks on behalf of us for coming on and sharing your experiences with us. And yeah, we'll definitely, if you'd like to come back, you're welcome anytime.
Okay, thank you. Awesome.
We'll do it again. But yeah, thank you everybody so much for showing up. Have a really good day, and I will talk to you all soon, and see you next week for the show with Carol, where we're going to do the women's bag tag drawing live on the show. So come back next week, everybody. And thank you so much, Sarah.
Don't shoot!
See you guys.